part of what's important is what we want you to take away from day is, number one, we want it to be relationship building. We want you to meet new people, have conversations. Once again, have those conversations. What's it like to be a student at your school? What's it like to be a student over here? The other thing is you were hand chosen by your school leaders. You were hand selected for a reason, okay? Not your name wasn't drawn out of a hat, you were picked. And the reason why you were picked is your school leaders feel that you are making a difference and an impact at your school. And so they brought you here today to empower you. We're gonna go through some training. We're gonna have some conversations. We're gonna hear from a great keynote speaker from Roosevelt over the lunch hour, but really want you to be thinking about how you can take this back to your school. So this idea really stemmed from a group of parents at Roosevelt that were really trying to decide how they could help with some of the local and national issues that we were seeing hit our paper. And the concept came up of, getting kids together to hear about perspectives, learn from each other, hear stories from each other, and grow together was really the idea.
One of the things we know is that it's not a one district issue. It's not a Des Moines issue. It's an everybody issue. And frankly, it's an opportunity for all of us to sit down and discuss ways to impact, to have conversations, and not only conversations, but work towards solutions of how we can be better for everyone.
We chose kids who have had some experience with these conversations before, as well as some younger kids who are going to be emerging leaders. We have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. I just hope that the kids are able to have some of these conversations and be able to listen to each other and learn from each other.
Sometimes in the metro schools we have a little bit more diverse populations than the other schools, but we still have a lot of work to do of understanding different groups of populations, and we need to understand each other and learn how to get along with one another.
We talk about how we can include people. We have an inclusion council here at Wellmark. Our leader is constantly talking about, John Forsythe is constantly talking about inclusiveness, making it part of our culture and what we live and breathe here at Wellmark.
It's so inspiring that the business culture, is kind of leaders right now in the country, and it's no wonder they're hosting this, and I think they see that the world we live in right now, this is the reality. We got to get along together. We got to have equality. We got to learn how to respect each other's differences and use those to all of our advantage.
So my idea was just to come up and say, hey, how can we partner and help with Des Moines Public Schools? And Wellmark was all over it. They said, absolutely, it's a great partnership. And not only does it get to show what we do here at Wellmark and what's important to us, but also gets hopefully to the youth as well.
Because everyone's so different. It's such a great group in there. It's amazing just to see all the different types of individuals that have come together that are so very different but so very alike in the same way.
I love how they gathered every single school together, because I definitely think at my school we had biases or preconceived notions about places like Valley or Ankeny, and today we got to break those down and see each other for who we really are. Yeah.
I think something like this is so beautiful because if we could just bring more of the students in here just to be able to experience what it's like to have all these different cultures around them, and it's like there are more similarities than differences. There's this human connection that everyone has, and people try to bring up the differences more than the similarities, and then that just gets in their head and they get stuck on that. So I think that it's just a super cool experience, and I want to be able to share this with my friends back home. So thank you.
You're kind of surprised, people have things to say, and all they need is someone just to ask them to say it out loud, And I think people don't say things out loud all the time, maybe because fear of judgment. But then it's when you're sitting in an open space with a bunch of people, and you just ask them to really share how they feel, and they'll tell you honestly, and I think it's really cool.
A coward dies 1,000 times before their actual death. Don't be a coward. Say it, and say it loud. Thank you.
For me, that's kind of what this day is about, is to learn from them. And I've already sat in with a couple students and their tabletop conversations, and it's just really eye-opening to, I guess I never realized how deeply they think about some of these issues and how insightful they are.
I feel like the main idea is that it's important to use your voice. It's important to learn how to use your voice and to always look before you speak, understand before you speak on things.
And so one of the things that they'll be working on this afternoon is an action plan based on some of the conversations they had this morning, some of the perspective they got from talking with students from other schools and other districts, is then putting together an actionable plan that they can take back to their school and instrument that change.
It was just basically the importance of being aware of things going around in our communities and our country, and learning how to speak up and challenge, negative views and advocate for those who need to be advocated for.
To be honest, it has gone above my expectations. I will say the one thing that has blown us away, and I've talked to a few other Wellmark folks already, is the comments by the students. There's been a couple times I've almost been brought to tears by some of the things that I've heard today. It's extremely moving and very powerful, and I think it's making a big impact.